what you're told. And if the sun comes out again, you know it will cleanse you of sin, keep you on the road. You see yourself upon a stage, telling people what you told them they crave. And when the day is done, you know you'll still be on the run from truth. So you know the day will come when they cut out your lying tongue. What will you be left with then? You're worthless gold, but not any friends. This is your end. Thank you. All right. Now, okay, the guy that invited us here, you know, what's his name? Bammy Sammy, right? Where is he? He was good. Oh, God. Okay. Thank God. Woo! Save the day, man.
What are we doing? All right. Hi, guys.
Hey, howdy.
Hi. Sweet. Howdy.
I turned 65 and I realized life isn't a game. I've been thinking of death and I'm wondering who is to blame. Could it be the man in the hat who told me I shouldn't do that? Or the man with began to cry when I asked him why. Very good. Who is the man in the mirror I don't recognize? See by the lines on his face, he's telling me lies. It's not too far from the end, from where I thought I would begin. But I missed the boat, so I think the joke's really on them. Is the end, and I don't think that I can pretend. There's a purpose to life I can't see beyond the bend. Could it be that's why we're here, just to drown our sorrows in beer? Forget what we learned as soon as the fat lady's here. recognize. Who is that man in the mirror I don't recognize? Who is that man in the mirror?
Yes, you guys just heard from Steam Jenny featuring Curt Fields and Suzanne Waldren. Good morning, you guys. Welcome to episode number 27 of The Tasty Twist with Sammy B. I am, all right, crazy, right? I am your host, Sammy B, producer of the show and local musician here in Ludlow, Vermont. Shout out once again to Okemo Valley TV for having us and all the featured guests so far. It's hard to believe we're up to 27 episodes. It snowed today. There's snow on Okemo. Yay for all the skiers and snowboarders. Guys, good morning. You got a great sound with your acoustic, with your originals. And did you write them recently, or have they been in the fold for a while?
All three of those came. The third one is to come.
After we announced that we were going to be interviewing you, and I said, "Hey, let's focus on originals."
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of the way it happened. That's how the third one came about.
Good inspiration.
They're all new.
Move Me Brightly, Terrapin Station. Move Me right. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, you were saying. So you had these recently written.
Yeah. Well, one was a week ago. The one that The one we just did.
Yeah.
The one we just did. Yeah. Man in the Mirror.
Man in the Mirror. And what was the name of the other one? The first one?
Your End.
Your End.
Your End. Yeah.
Very nice. Awesome. You guys got great vocal harmony presence together. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. And folks can find you guys on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, right? Steam
That's right.
Jenny?
Yep.
Great. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Let's start off just kind of basic overall question. Background of you both as far as musically. When did you all start? When did you start singing? When did you start playing guitar? I know you both have full-time jobs, which we can talk about in a little bit also as well too. But kind of give a little history, the two of you. So,
You want to start?
Well, I mean, I first started guitar back when I was probably 12 or 13, and put it down for years, picked it up, put it down, picked it up.
Yeah.
Off and on over the years. Never was, to be honest with you, never had the discipline to really apply myself. I'd learn the songs and say, well, that's good enough. I can sing along with it. And that's as far as I'd go, back then. Now I'm trying to get, a little more adept and do scales.
Besides being 12 and 13 years old, was there something about learning an instrument with guitars especially, sight music? Was there something about it that or was there outside world pressure that was like, you need to continue to focus on this, and it just discouraged you? Or was it just simply, I'm 12 or 13 years old?
No. I took formal lessons for a while, and then later in high school, I'm a bass player also, I should say. That was my main instrument for a while. I was in the school orchestra and the jazz band.
Very nice.
And things like that. So I had once upon a time I could sight read.
Yeah.
But
are you both Vermonters originally, or?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah. Actually, you mentioned that in the pregame. That's right. We were talking about the Penguins. That's right. So yeah, awesome. Yeah. Are you from Vermont originally?
I am not from Vermont originally.
Okay.
I'm a native Californian.
Okay.
Grew
Whereabouts?
up, I was born in Ventura, so
Okay.
Southern California.
Okay.
And but I grew up in Alaska until I was 12.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Right on the coast, or more inland?
Inland, kind of in the bottom middle.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
How is it?
inland.
I've never been to Alaska before. How
It's
is it?
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Is it the largest state land-wise?
It is, yes.
Like land
Bigger than
mass-wise?
Texas.
Right, bigger than Texas, right?
Yeah.
And bigger than California. But
Yes.
California is the most populated, right?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, we're like geography majors.
why I'm
right
not
here.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
A for you.
Yeah, A. I'll go A minus, because I didn't exactly have the full ducks in a row with that. But yeah. But when did you start singing?
I started singing in church when
Yeah?
I was growing up. Yes.
Very nice.
I really
Lead vocalist, or kind of
just in the pews and with the hymnals,
right?
fell in love.
One person playing the keyboards and you singing the
piano,
nice.
just really traditional.
Yeah.
Very traditional and church.
You started at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
Doing it, yeah.
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it
just-
nerve-wracking doing that kind of on your own, like singing in the
No.
church?
I mean, it was everybody. It was the whole congregation singing. They say turn to page whatever, 230.
I just wasn't sure if you're up on the higher pedestal in the church and they're looking up from behind. They're like, wow, Cool voice. Yeah.
Not yet.
Or if you're tucked in the corner near the altar. So I actually was an altar server for 5 years at a Catholic school. And for more reasons than none, realizing that I might want to get married and have kids someday, I never pursued past just a service of duty being an altar server. But very familiar with that whole setup of the hymns, the music, but never knew what the numbers meant besides the pages in the book. Like, hey, turn to this page so I can read this hymn. Why that hymn? Why do they choose that for some message? Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, well, usually, often it'll correlate with whatever sermon is for the day.
Yeah.
You know, they'll work it all in.
Yeah. Did you take lessons also too, like in
I
choir?
did when I was
or-
15, and we moved to Oregon for a short time. I've lived a lot of places.
Portland area? Or?
Yes, Oregon City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right
Nice.
outside of Portland. And I took voice lessons for about a year, and then I took them when we moved to New Hampshire and at Keene State.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, wow.
I've always been in school choir. Yep.
Did you go to, what did you major in at Keene State?
I just took lessons there
Just
in high
took lessons
school
there.
during
Oh,
high
okay.
school.
Oh, during high school,
from their
okay.
voice, their whoever the music person was.
Gotcha. And how did you guys meet? Was it just in passing in New Hampshire or Vermont over the years, or?
We did work at HCRS together. He still works there as adult mental health case managers.
Right.
Yeah.
How long have you been there, Kurt?
5.5 years.
5.5 years. Yeah. What's a typical day for you? Are you doing more one-on-one like therapy sessions, or are you kind of like administration, like behind the scenes in the office?
Oh, no. I'm definitely in the field working with the clients, but
Right.
it's not so much therapy. They call it community support. Or
Which is
supportive
therapeutic.
counseling.
Right.
I mean,
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
you could, but
Which is
it's-
therapeutic, yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
legally allowed to call it therapy.
Okay.
But yeah, work with the clients, but hook them up to get their needs met in the
Okay.
community. They might need services from other agencies, and it's up to me to help them navigate that.
It's got to be like being a musician, regardless of being for a hobby or part-time or full-time. It's got to be a relative perspective of that. Every human being has different mental needs and different things. And so I would imagine you got to probably adjust on the fly with helping these people out, right? In given circumstances.
Yes, but the other interesting thing about it is I find everyone that I work with echoes a little piece of me. I can see myself in them. You know,
Is it based on experience? Like,
well, just knowing myself.
yeah.
You know, and
I
it's
mean,
like-
I mean that for like the better. You know,
yeah. Well, it's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, man, I'm a little OCD too sometimes. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. Oh, I definitely have ADHD, 100%. Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I forgot to put my right sock on this morning. Yes, I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really nice humanizing and making a connection there.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
that's
see that,
awesome. Yeah. And so you both worked in the company for a time, right? When did you move on, or
2 years ago.
2 years
I've been
ago.
at Springfield Supported Housing for 2 years now.
Same type of background, sort of, or
It is case management.
Case
Yes,
management,
yes, of individuals who are, very vulnerable.
yeah. Is it Monday to Friday for both jobs, or is it sometimes on call on the weekends?
No, our jobs. I mean, some of the jobs there do, but we don't. We're not on call.
No.
Gotcha. Not like us full-time musicians 7 days a week.
Right, right.
Tell us a little bit about how you guys formed this group together. When did you form it? When did you start performing out as a duo?
Well, we just started performing out, but
Yeah.
Kurt approached me
Yeah.
probably, last winter?
A year. Yeah. I got over some internal conflicts and just said, what the hell? I don't care what people think. I want to do something and get out there and play.
Yeah.
Because I'm a photographer too.
Yeah. Oh,
and
I did not know that. That's
anytime you do a piece of art, it's not complete until you present it.
Sure.
So I feel like this is presenting ourselves, and I knew that Suzanne could sing, and I was.
You're always you're always at the mercy of the risk of like an audience not liking it or liking it, but also battling. Hey, I'm doing this for me also as well too, right? That's that mental game that we always battle as artists.
Absolutely. I'm going to play what I want. I know somebody out there is going to like it, but I'm also respecting my role as people hiring me as an entertainer to go in there.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I'm serving the music. Because that's why the music has nurtured me for 65 years.
That's why we come in the first place, right? You know, yeah,
man.
Exactly. What do you kind of relating off of that? This could be a good question for both of you, but while we're pleasing ourselves doing this as artists, what do you find to be the number one thing that gets the audience to latch on to your show at any given moment? In other words, is it volume dynamic? Is it simply smiling most of the time and making eye contact with people as you're performing? Is it occasionally throwing like a fun, not over the top, sarcastic jab on the microphone? What do you guys feel as a duo like works best for the audiences that you've played for so far?
I find that making a connection through eye contact and just exactly what you said, a smile, like I see you.
Yeah.
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 And for me, the way that I approach my singing is I'm doing it for them because I know what I've gleaned from other performers, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How many different groups have you sang for over the years, including this one?
Oh boy, it's been in so.
Because we've known each other for a few years. Like I moved up to
Yeah.
Vermont from Connecticut 6 years ago, but through Pizza Stone, shout out Darlene and just a
Yeah.
bunch of other friends. That's how we've gotten to know each other.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how many different groups you have sang with over the years.
Well, I started off as in a band. I sang backup in a band, a country band in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Old school country or new school type country?
It was like 90s country.
Sure.
A lot of Travis
Sheryl Crow
Tritt,
type
Garth
or-
Brooks.
yeah, Garth Brooks, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
like country.
Yeah, country. Yeah. She
Yeah.
plays my tractor section.
Yeah, exactly. And I tried that on for a while, and then I moved to the East Coast.
Right.
And then I joined a choir, a world choir. So
Yeah.
I've sang in so many different capacities.
You've had the experience being a backup singer and a front singer. Do you have like a personal preference what you like more than the other? Or do you like simply, it depends on like the type of band, right? Because I've had some roles where I'm the lead guitar player and the lead singer, and sometimes I'm like the backup rhythm guitar player just kind of being in like the background, or the bass player, for example, which no offense, bass players don't get nearly any of the credit that they should, because
Absolutely.
humble take on this.
Yeah.
As a lead guitar player, if your bass player and drummer are not in sync, good luck, man. It's a like stumbling over like speed bumps.
It's not a smooth dance. Yeah.
No. But anyways, how did it feel being both backup and lead over the years?
To me, it depends on the song.
That's a good.
It
good
depends
take,
on the
yeah.
song. There's some songs that it's like I want to do this because I just have a feeling for the song, but singing backup to me is just support.
Mm-hmm.
It's supporting the singer, and I like.
Right.
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
That's what a
tricked
podcast
me.
interview. Hey, that's a good research question, I
Yeah,
guess. Right?
yeah.
I don't even think it made the list, actually, to be
Yeah,
honest
some
with you.
self-research.
Part of doing it on the fly. Yeah, exactly. And so your experience with being in groups, just more recent, or you've been bass player, obviously, but as far as like acoustic guitar, you've been mostly a rhythm player, or have you been like a front man multiple times? Like,
I have to say that I've been a front man, and not by virtue of any particular talent of mine, but virtue of the lack of talent of the others. That's a little harsh.
shout out
but,
to those who we may be speaking of.
I mean,
Or is that saying, you know who you are?
I mean, that's as a guitar player, not as a bass player. I mean, I played with some terrific guitar players. But then it was really funny because after my accident is when I really got recruited to be a guitar player with some guys.
That was the hand accident?
Yeah.
How many, just out of curiosity, one of my really good friends from Connecticut, who I played in a band with for 9 years as the bass player, did the same sort of thing. Shout out to my good friend Matt Nicholas if he ever sees this when it's released on YouTube. Yeah, Hubinger Street, all the boys. Same sort of thing. handsaw it,
Yeah.
and it just went across, or actually I think it went downwards this way, so the audience can see. It went all the way across down there.
Exactly.
And so I'm pretty sure Matt needed 7 to 10 surgeries to basically get every finger back up to snuff, with the exception of the top nub of the most important finger, your index finger. And so he's been playing like this for almost 20 years now. And he said to himself mentally, hey, no one's taking me down. I'm still going to find a way. And he's been doing it ever since. He has a full-time job also too, but he plays mandolin, he plays acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass sometimes, all just the hand looking like that. It's pretty inspiring. So I give you a lot of credit. You probably had like, what, 4 or 5 surgeries, like at least?
At least. Actually, they tried to save the finger.
Yeah.
But I rejected the implant, and eventually I just had them take it off because it was in
Your
the
body
way.
rejected it, or you mentally rejected it?
No, my body actually rejected
Yeah.
the silicone implant. Yeah.
Not to make a sarcastic joke
That's
about
fine.
it or whatever, but I'm sure it had to be the body, right? Yeah. And so how has that been? Obviously you're doing it, but it's got to be a challenge still, right? After all these years, or you've gotten used to it.
It's a real challenge. I still get bummed sometimes, and I think back to songs that I was learning just before the accident, and I can get a little maudlin about it, but I don't try not to let myself, because I figured it would take me another lifetime to learn to play left-handed, so I just went with it like this, And the cool thing about
You don't want to be Albert King, play a right guitar, like righty guitar upside down.
No, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But see, right now, if I go out and I do really well, people say, "Hey, nice job," and I say, "Yeah," and no kid, and look.
Yeah.
If I suck, I say, "Well, what do you expect?" Man?
Yeah.
So it's win-win for me.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a chance, man. I'm out here. And it's funny because if people really like it, and then you just be like, yeah, and by the way, check out what I'm dealing with. They'd be like, what? And there's that like old saying, like, you got more talent in that half of a finger. I've heard that saying like a handful of times. Yeah. But anyways, once again, folks, we're chatting with Suzanne and Curt of Steam Jenny, a local group. Where would you say your primary town is? Chester, Springfield, New Hampshire? I see you guys did a bunch of shows out in New Hampshire, or did a few out recently. I saw some uploaded.
Well, we were at a
videos.
farm, a farm opening, and we got one coming up at a brewery right down the road in Claremont. But a lot of Vermont. I mean, my history up here is mostly playing in Vermont-based bands.
Sure.
For the most part.
Yeah, and you guys are part-time, but how active would you say you are in trying to reach out to like new places? I know you mentioned that it can be a struggle sometimes with hearing back. That's the nature of sales in the world. But how far of a range you're traveling or trying to get gigs? Like how active are you guys?
One thing we talked about is actually trying to book weekends like at locations in Maine in the summertime, where we would have a weekend vacation. Wow. Our families could go up for the weekend, and we would play a couple of gigs and make it pay.
Yeah.
So I've reached out to 1 or 2 places up there so far. But
if I can make a suggestion, I'm sure you've been to the area, but in and around between Old Orchard Beach and Booth Bay Harbor, those are nice spots to look into. Yeah, beautiful coastline up there, man.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That's wicked cool, man. Maine is so darn beautiful.
It is.
Well, I just got back from Brunswick last week. Freeport area. Yeah.
Now that's is that near Acadia National Park?
No, not that far up. It's Freeport, Brunswick, Bath.
Okay.
Kind of up north of Portland.
Gotcha. I've heard for years, and I can see why, that Maine is such a hidden gem in the Northeast, New England. And someone made a joke recently. So the whole tri-state area comes to Vermont and New Hampshire. Vermont and New Hampshire go to Maine after vacation, and everybody else figures out Canada if they want to go that far north. Like Montreal or Toronto.
I think there's truth to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Canada's like, What's the solo blues? What do you all come in here? Hey, yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's good. So you guys are planning maybe Maine, but obviously you're sticking to. You guys have played Pizza Stone a couple of times.
We have,
Ciao Popolo.
Ciao Popolo, and
Ciao
you know
Popolo,
we're
yeah.
looking to get more gigs around the Ludlow, Chester area for sure.
Yeah.
Springfield, we've been reaching out to a couple places.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Well, I know that Off the Rails, Killarney's, Little Mexico, even, and Ado Brew are always like some great. Shout out to all those places. Are always looking for new musicians and everything. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
shout out to Max Turner if you're watching.
Yes,
You know, we'd
the
love
New
to hear
American
back
Girl.
from you.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
love to get into New American Girl.
Yes, love Max and Jack. Great food there also too.
Great
we've,
place.
We've given them quite the plug on the episode so far. So gonna have to put we're gonna have to put the fire flame of New American Girl somewhere on the backing one of these days. Yeah.
There's no compensation here from the New American Girl. I want to put that out there right now.
Yeah, I know, no, absolutely, yeah. So tell us about the shows. You guys are a nice mix between, folk, rock, and blues. Do you mainly do 2-3 hour shows? Does it vary?
Yeah, I'd say 2.5, 3 hours is what we play.
We're pretty new at this as a duo.
Yeah.
As far as a duo.
How many
So
songs
we're
would you say
we're
you
good
have
at
like ready to rip at any point in time?
60? You think that's fair?
That's generous.
50 something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, between
good.
50 and 60 songs.
You guys do open mics also too, or just your
No,
own
we
shows?
haven't. We haven't.
Yeah,
Haven't
yeah.
really-
Have you done open mics though before in the past?
I did ages ago when there was a 7-barrel brewery in West Lebanon.
Okay.
And they had it. I did a long, long time ago.
Yeah. Open mics are cool.
They're fun.
Yeah, they are. They are. Great community engagement opportunity, I think, for everybody, not just as musicians, but,
Yeah,
for
and-
bar, yeah.
We've talked about it.
So
We have talked about it,
Hey.
doing
Yeah.
open mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea, picture this. It's if you play your cards right, that's an old saying also too. You do half the work. You show up, you set up the equipment, you play for like 25 minutes, half hour, because you're the front pieces of the pie. That was a bad analogy, right? It could be apple pie, blueberry pie. I don't know. Or the apple cider whoopie pie that I got you guys. Shout out to the Eatery by Vermont Bliss,
Yes.
by the way. But yeah, and then it's if you have like 5 to 10 musicians there, all you're doing is you're just like a sound man afterwards. And then you just keep an eye on how many they play and just like, okay, next up. Then we go down the list. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It could also be nerve-wracking sometimes too if your equipment goes haywire or if like, someone might possibly damage the stuff accidentally, yeah. But it is a lot of fun.
Been in those situations.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But anyways, so some of your biggest influences, vocals, guitar players. You obviously are big fans of the Dead. I know that. Grateful Dead, yeah.
I have to say, I don't really like to pull out favorites because I'm always missing
It's
somebody.
an apples and orange conversation.
But, yeah, I mean, Jerry, Bruce Coburn, Steve Howe from Yes was an early favorite
Good call,
guitar
man.
player.
Good
And Chris
call.
Squire is a bass player. I mean, those cats were, yeah.
Great sound, man. No. You ever seen them live?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Did
In the
they open
round.
for anybody or were they the headliner?
They were it. They were it.
That was
Yep.
just it, yeah. I saw in 2010 Peter Frampton open up for Yes, and Squire was still alive, but no, wait, was he? No, yes, Squire was still alive. Anderson was on laryngitis, medical health issues leave, so they picked up a guy from a YouTube channel out in the state of Kansas, not the band Kansas,
Yeah,
but the state of Kansas,
Yeah.
And he sounded just like him. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Anyways, back to it. So Yes, and yeah, any others that really stand out?
Well, I mean, guitar players, they're just so many.
So
and
many,
it's some of them surprise me. Like I was a fan of Steve Goodman's for a long time, folk singer.
Okay.
He died of leukemia back in the 80s. Anyway, and then I saw a YouTube video of him and he could play, man. I mean, a lead player. He never did it on his recordings.
Yeah.
But in this live concert, it was amazing. And so you're always discovering something or somebody new.
Yeah.
But the vocalists that move me are like Jerry and Rick Danko, the emotive, the emotion. Yeah.
Right. How about some classic rock guys like Brad Delp from Boston, for example, or the guy from Kansas?
Stevie Walsh.
As far as their range, like how, and we'll get into this by the way, as far as like vocal range also too. how some guys can sing that high.
Yeah.
Well, that's back to John Anderson.
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
With
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. But I bring up the late great Brad Delp from Boston because those first couple of Boston albums, man, I'm like, wow, who is this guy? This guy's got some serious pipes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. So obviously you're a fan also too of the David Grisman, Jerry Garcia albums from the 90s. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. And that pizza tapes, you familiar with the pizza
I
tapes?
don't think I am. No. But you're making me hungry though. As we're talking pizza stones.
Well, this is Grisman, Garcia, and Tony Rice. And, to hear Jerry keep up with Tony is just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it just goes to show how versatile Jerome Garcia was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Suzanne, your turn on influences.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
are you ready for my very first?
I am.
influence?
I am. You're all. Is this a top 3 or like your all-time favorite?
No, this is my very first.
Oh, very
Just my
first.
very first
Okay.
influence, and
Right.
I ran I wore the tape out, but it was
Cassette, 8-track.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. All right. Yeah. Not the baseball player.
gambler.
Not the pitcher.
Oh no,
Not the pitcher. No.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
Wow. And I'm sorry. I might be dating myself with my age, 35. But I'm not as familiar with Kenny Rogers' work. So how long ago did he pass? Still alive, or he's been?
I wish I knew the answer to that.
He's not alive,
I don't
but
think
I don't
he
know how
is.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably got a massive catalog, right? As far as like discography
Massive,
and everything.
yes.
Yeah. Who did he collaborate with?
Well, the one I know the most is Dolly Parton,
Oh, okay. That's
who's another one of my
another one of
huge
yours. Yeah.
inspirations.
We mentioned Susan Tedeschi, obviously,
Yes.
Tedeschi
Oh,
Trucks
my
Band.
goodness, yeah.
Have you seen them live?
I have a couple times.
A couple times.
Just recently
Yeah, where?
at in Guilford, New Hampshire. At
Okay.
The Bank of New Hampshire
the Bank of Pavilion. Yeah.
That's where we've seen her.
Yeah, that's a nice venue.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Saw Alanis Morissette there a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Saw Brandy Carlisle there.
Brandy Carlisle, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite singers lately, Chris Stapleton, just recently played out that way. He rocks, man. He rocks.
Good. He's very good.
Did you see his rendition of the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl a couple years ago?
No.
It was so funny. We can get to like the social media side of the world and what we do, but the Twitter tough guys, now the X tough guys, or the internet, the keyboard warriors. They're like, man, I didn't really think his version like did the Star Spangled Banner service. I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Sorry, excuse my French. Fricking's not really a swear, but I'm like, with apostrophe at the end of N, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Chris Stapleton. Look it up sometime. His version of the Star Spangled Banner with like an old Squire guitar, like tuned down like to like C sharp or something like that. Unbelievable. And he just smokes it. The internet guys, I didn't like this version. Okay, then you try it, big guy. Yeah. You didn't get hired by Roger Goodell in the NFL. Come on,
It's a very difficult song to sing.
God.
It is very difficult.
Because we have seen, no offense to those out there, some interesting renditions that are not as we can speak as musicians ourselves. We can be like, where were they going with that? Like, were they drunk? Were they high?
I've choked many times, so I can take it.
Yeah. Well, actually, so that could lead to a good segue right here. Stage fright. You guys ever get stage fright?
Oh God, yeah.
All the time, or just a couple of moments that stand out in time?
It comes and goes. It's momentary.
I had it one time, and I can remember where I was, what band I was with, and it hit me so hard I completely forgot the song, forgot the key, forgot what I was doing. Wow, it was incredible.
Were you able to bounce back in the
Scared
moment?
me.
Were you able to bounce back?
It took me maybe a measure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And listening, and then I did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's humbling, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And it could be in front of 2 people, or it could be in front of 1,500 people. It's just amazing how that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I did a show one time years ago in Connecticut, in front of 7,000 to 10,000 people, maybe. It was on a 2-mile stretch of beach, and it was the first time I had ever played in front of that many people. And years before, very fortunate, my uncle's band, Electric Mayhem, opened up for Mo and the Allman Brothers at the
wow.
Old Meadows in Hartford.
Yeah.
And he let me sit in on like one song. This was like the VIP back like stage area. Like, but for me, 16 years old, I'm like, oh, I feel like a big shot now. But like, this is like cool, blah, blah, blah. But being one of the main bands at this festival years later in front of 8,000 people, I'm just looking out in the audience. I'm like, and all of a sudden, I feel the butterflies in my stomach. Like, it was just weird, man. I felt like I could have done for lack of a better term, a number 2 on the moment. I was like that nervous. But we opened up the show with Shakedown Street, like a long jam in the Shakedown Street from the Dead. The first minute and a half in, I'm like, okay, all's right in the world. This feels good. Just focus on the band. Everything else will fall into play. Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's bizarre, man. I think it's humbling to say that I truly believe every artist, singer, musician, whatever, we all get stage fright, I think, at some point. It's wild, right? Yeah.
And there's some who still, I mean, like was it Barbara Streisand? But big famous singers who experience it almost every time.
Yeah. You remember the late Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers Band?
Yeah.
A couple of years before he passed away, he did an interview with Dan Rather, who's a phenomenal interviewer, by the way. He was saying, like, I heard a rumor that, stage fright happens to you all the time. He goes, yeah, every show. I still get stage fright every single show. This is Greg Allman, yeah.
It's so human.
Who's been through hell and back, and before he died, hell and back. He essentially kicked Dickie Betts out of the band, right? Because he was like 5 years clean, and Dickie was still Dickie, right? I think that was the
Practicing,
practicing, yeah. And you guys have seen the Allman Brothers live also too, right?
I have not seen the Allman Brothers.
Never? Oh,
I have not.
Man.
No.
But we were talking about we should get back into the Dead really quickly, because there's so many different chapters of the Dead that's just fantastic, starting in probably before 65 when they officially became the Dead. Some argue that the Dead died when Pigpen died, but it really died, the original take, when Jerry, obviously 95.
Yeah.
But some tremendous years, man. And then the bands after that, Phil and Friends, Joe Russo's Almost Dead, Dead and Company, The Dead with Warren Haynes and Joan Osborne. I mean, so many just great. Dark Star. Oh my God, DSO. How can you forget DSO? Yeah. But do you guys have like a favorite side Grateful Dead band?
For me, it's DSO.
DSO.
Yeah.
I have to say, at least for now, I've recently discovered, well, maybe a year ago, Deadgrass.
Oh, yeah.
Deadgrass is phenomenal.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I agree.
played Slipknot note for note. I mean,
Into Franklin's.
Yeah,
of
and
course,
From
right?
Help on the Way,
and then back in the Slipknot, you had the down, bow, 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 bow,
incredible. Yeah.
That was my version of being a drummer. You know where they take the 6 at the end. Thank you. Good night. God, who did I want to ask? Billy Strings. You on board with Billy Strings?
Oh, yeah.
How great is he?
Yes,
He's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he knows everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knows everybody. And he's a mean electric guitar player, too. Did you see who he sat in with last year? Tool. Tool. You know the band Tool?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And Post Malone, right? He's
Yeah.
got
Oh,
Post
yeah.
Malone.
Yeah.
Oh, you're familiar with Post Malone?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. I haven't heard his music
Yeah.
yet, but I've heard about him.
Suzanne, I had no idea Post Malone originally started, I think, as a country artist. And all of his other
I can
stuff in
see that.
between. Rap, hip hop,
Yeah.
all this other B stuff. Yeah. What a talented cat. Yeah, so he just recently came out with a brand new album with like all the big shots, like Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs, like literally all the big shots in country nowadays.
Yeah.
He's a talented cat.
He is.
Yeah.
Who's the Cosmic Country guy? Denny? Oh, I forget his name.
I don't know.
But he's set in with Phil and Friends, but I'm blanking on his name now.
There's a harp player. She's relatively, she may be even younger than me. I just saw her open up for the great Amos Lee. You familiar with Amos Lee?
I've definitely heard of him.
Yeah. Phenomenal singer-songwriter. I think he used to be a full-time English teacher or an adjunct English teacher, and then he just went on to be a fulltime musician. In his first album, he had Norah Jones on a couple of like the songs. Like he's playing Red Rocks. He's playing. I just saw him at Treehouse Brewing Company in South Deerfield, Mass. recently, and this harp player that's got a looping pedal and all different sorts of effects with a harp, a massive harp.
I've seen
her name's Michaela Davis.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just saw on her Instagram a couple of weeks ago, she sat in with Phil and friends. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me! Out at Crossroads. Wow. I'm like, she knows Phil. I'm like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, she does dead covers.
Yeah, but it almost seems like, guys, whether it's local artists or big shots, it's like the world of collaboration nowadays. And don't you think that has something to do with not only like an already established career, but social media? Don't you think social media plays a big factor into it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen it in my kids. My kids are, almost 20 and 18.
Yeah.
But when we were young and in high school, like, there was no collaborations between schools. You were rivals, right? You were like against each other, but they know kids from all the schools and they're all friends, and so I think it's social media. Yeah.
And talk about, we talked about this in the pregame before recording and everything, how important, especially in Vermont, a state that's so supportive for arts entertainment, to have this healthy competition of collaborating with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of artists around here, man. And it's great to see, of all different ages and backgrounds, everybody working together. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's fun when you're out there and you see somebody playing who is younger than your daughter. Puts you into perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's like, hey, let's bring son or daughter up and jam it. Yeah. Peter Frampton did that with his kid when they opened up for Yes. Yeah, so it runs in the family. Yeah, cool. And musicians in the family, kids. Do they play, sing? No.
It's just me.
Just you carrying the torch.
Even in my own childhood family, it was just me. Really was.
Yeah, my son was a music major and taught music for a while. Now he's on his own, doing his own businesses.
What did he teach?
Music.
No, music, I mean like a primary instrument?
Trombone.
Real nice.
Yeah, but he's also taught himself guitar, and I've seen him pick up anything and play it. He amazes me. Yeah, quite proud of him.
Yeah. How do you like the difference between playing electric or acoustic guitar and bass?
I miss bass.
Yeah.
I miss playing bass, but it used to be everybody was looking for a bass player. Now they seem to be a dime a dozen.
It is fun though, because to train your mind to go from improvising and soloing and playing a lot of notes, bass is as simple as it gets, or should be as simple as it gets.
And I think my lead playing on guitar sometimes sounds bass influenced.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And because with my looping recording pedal, I have an octave pedal, so I lay down bass tracks every once in a while before in addition to like the rhythm track. So that's from years of playing bass also as well too. Do you guys do you rehearse a lot for shows?
We've been rehearsing twice a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Just a couple hours, or just like let's just refresh on the 60 songs?
No, Sunday afternoons it's several hours, and then tonight we'll get together for a couple.
Nice. You guys ever add like a harmonica player or like a saxophone player? Or,
He's the harmonica player.
I do some harmonica, yeah, a little bit. But we've considered a third person.
Very nice.
But it's finding it has to be the right person and the right instrument. I don't want a double guitar so much.
Yeah.
But a keyboard, a cello.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Something.
How about violin?
Yeah.
Oh,
violin would be awesome.
Oh, every day, right?
Yeah.
Love that.
Get one of those $5 million Stradivariuses. Do you guys ever remember the Three Stooges episode where they're all in like the court and like Larry has the hammer and he breaks the Stradivarius by accident, like he's just trying to chase the parrot?
Oh wow!
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the other corner, Mo's just looking at Curly. Here, grab your ear. Come on, dum dum. Come on. What's the matter with you? Yes, my. Yeah. No. Whoa. I'll squeeze your Adam's apple. Like, what's the matter? You trying to kill me?
Yeah. God,
you got it down.
He's good, man.
Yeah. Curly, why don't you answer the prosecutor? Well, he's talking pig lad. He's talking too fast. I don't know what he's saying. Well, he's asking you if you swear. No, but I know all the whites. Whites.
Is this part of your act?
Yes.
When you're
sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love throwing Looney Tunes in there. Hey, just a minute, you. Them's fighting words. Yeah, rabbit. Them's fighting words. Fricka. I dare you to step across this line. I'm a stepping. Falls over the cliff. Comes back up because gravity. I was watching that as a kid. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Should I go into comedy? People have asked me like a bunch. Should I? It's just another career I got to learn.
You're halfway there.
But and you've got the audience, and you got a microphone, and you can.
You mean the
just do
cameras,
it, man.
the lights, camera, action.
Here,
Yeah.
and when you're out in the
Don't stare in the lights,
playing.
by the way, like I just did. I've done that a few times in the recordings. Yeah, I can barely see you now. Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah.
Stars.
I don't know. You know, a couple other things I don't know. Like, you guys have like favorite songs that you like to play out of your like eclectic mix of covers for shows?
I am so I don't know when
Is that like a top 3 question?
No,
Maybe
it's
like,
it's my thing about favorites. I have a
Yeah.
hard time ever picking a favorite because like what does that mean? I don't know.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Absolutely.
There's so much good.
It's like
Great.
it's like Joey from Friends when like people are using these quotations like in sentences, and he stops Ross and he goes, "Ross, hold on, time out with the conversation for a minute. You know, when people do this, I don't know what that means.
Favorite.
What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean? Like, how do you stop the conversation? What does that mean? Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
So if we had to narrow it down, is that an easier way to frame it? I heard your version of Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper, the other day. Is
you
that question? I
did?
saw that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I can say for sure is when I sit down and I'm just noodling on the guitar.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always go to Deep Ellum Blues, the Dead's
That's a
version.
good
Yeah.
one.
When you go down.
Yeah, to deep.
Have your $10 ready, or have your money come and fight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You bet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweet Mama. Yeah.
Daddy's
That's a great
got
song.
them Deep Ellum
That's a
Blues.
great
It's a
song.
great song.
It's versatile.
Yeah. Especially if Jerry goes off on like a 5-minute guitar solo with any Dead song. Yeah.
Only 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, it's,
Yeah.
sometimes 8.
20 minutes later.
Yeah. Depending on the venue and the pregame warm-ups before that. Yeah. No.
Right.
So how about you? Do you have? Well, you said Deep Ellum. Yeah.
That's what I end
I
up
don't know if you
doing.
answered the question. Did you answer the question?
I don't know because I can't like I have so many.
Right.
I don't know. Well, we just added in Summertime, which has always been an absolute favorite
Yeah.
of mine because I'm a huge Billie Holiday.
That's the original one, not the remake that came out in the 90s.
We're kind of doing our own version.
Doing our, yeah.
That's the one, Summertime, because the living's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the old Billie Holiday version.
Yeah,
too.
where she does it real, the really slow, bluesy
We're a
soul
little
version, and
more
we
upbeat.
gave it a
Yeah,
little more
yeah.
pep.
Right.
A little more.
And
That's-
Storm is coming. We're learning that.
Yep.
That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. Storms come in.
Storms
That's
coming
right.
by the
Who's
Waylon
that by?
Jennings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings. Yeah. Are you a fan of like a lot of those singers from way back in the day, like the Judy Garlands of the world, and
Oh, Judy Collins.
Judy Collins,
Yeah.
yeah. I just bought a Frank Sinatra CD the other day, one of his old Christmas albums.
Yeah, he's great. I just heard him earlier today in the car.
Yeah. I
it's
think he
great.
passed away. Sinatra lived to in 1995 or something like that. I want to say he was around for a while, but he played a big role in my mom's side of the family, especially, and my dad's side of the family. It's kind of funny, like. Based on like my dad's side of the family, I kind of feel like the lone wolf is a musician also too. Like as far as like making a go at it, but you all have like pros and cons you think of being an artist, like the good, bad, and different.
My
go first?
my con is an my con, not icon.
My son.
My downfall as an artist, I would say, is I've always been challenged with playing and singing, playing an instrument and singing at the same time.
Yeah,
So I haven't pursued it too much.
because you play guitar also as well too, right?
I can't play them together.
Can't play them together. Okay.
I can't. They don't work together. They probably do. I just need to give it.
We're going to work on this. We're going to work on
Yeah.
this.
At
It's-
rehearsal, right? The next rehearsal.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
But
yeah.
the story I tell myself is that I can't do the two at the same time.
Yeah.
When it's
Yeah.
probably just discipline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time.
And a pro being like the actual like performing in front of people.
Pro is absolutely just the gift, being able to give the gift of singing. That's my jam.
Yeah. Do either of you find that it again, regardless of full-time, part-time, or hobby, after a while, what we do at our at our utmost strengths as musicians, it kind of feels like a second language because of that confidence.
Yeah.
You feel that way? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean just the comfort?
Like, yeah, again, whatever it may be, whether it's singing and playing the instrument together or just singing or just playing guitar. It's, hey, I've got X number of shows or years under my belt doing this. This feels like nothing now. And like it adds that extra level of confidence to be able to give to the audience in a smile and like engagement, like, hey, this is cool. I got this. Hey.
Yeah, for me, it's like being able to like really be so confident in a song, you can start to just like decorate it a little more, you know, and give it, you know, some trills and, you know, some more
Trills
soul.
and thrills.
Trills and thrills and soul.
The hand motion too. Yeah. Right in the way.
You know what? You texturize it.
Yes.
You can texturize the song.
Sprinkle it with a little bit of jazz or first play.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And for you, pros, cons?
Well, my con is actually kind of in there. I what would you say? I'm really harsh and judgmental of myself. So I go out there and I'm insecure. Okay. And in fact, one of the reasons I started talking about a third member was just to support my feelings of inadequacy on the guitar.
Sure.
But we talked through that. But anyway, but I do get that there are some songs that you do get to know so well, you can make them your own.
Yeah.
In different ways. But the pro for me is when you connect with the audience and that energy is going back and forth all night long.
It inspires you to not want to stop, but also like you really look forward to the next couple of songs. So
yes.
Do you guys write set lists beforehand or you just wing it?
We
write them.
We write them.
We've written them.
Doesn't
we haven't
mean
winged it.
stick
Pen and
to
paper,
them.
Microsoft Word?
No.
Pages.
Pages. Yeah,
Apple Pages.
Yeah.
And then we sprinkle some winging in there.
Yeah.
We do. Sometimes we'll be like, let's do this one instead.
What was that story here? Jerry, the Dead did a set list, and they're walking out to the stage, and Jerry takes a set list and goes, throws it in the air.
Lights it on fire.
Yeah. I look forward to a day like that.
Yeah.
Let's just go with it.
We look forward to the day where we can all like financially to afford to light one of our guitars on fire like Jimi Hendrix. Or smash it across like a drum kit or something. Yeah. Did you guys see the video? I forget the guy's name, but it was Jane's Addiction, I want to say. Did you see the fight like between the lead singer and the guitar player?
Yeah.
Wild stuff, man. Yeah. And the age of like the cell phone, everyone caught like different angles of it.
I think people must be ready for that. You know? Okay, what's going to happen next?
Yeah. Well, it's like the internet in general. Like it's so many people don't know how to use it for like the right way. And granted, I've made every mistake in the book. Like having grown up, I mean, I was 12 when 9/11 happened, and basically since 9/11, smart technology has kind of like taken off between MySpace, YouTube.
Very fast.
Very fast. But yeah, I've kind of learned at still a relatively young enough age to I try to use the internet for the right reasons. But you go on like some of those local social media pages.
No, stay away.
Oh yeah, far away.
I just want to look. Yeah. I don't want to be involved.
Well, you get the bag of popcorn ready, right? It's like sprinkling some butter or salt.
Or you can post, the GIF that's got the person just eating the popcorn. I'm here for the comments.
Was that Michael Jackson with the popcorn? By the way, that was Michael Jackson,
Thriller,
right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys. All right, so. What we're going to do, we have one more segment that I like to call other stuff or / like rapid fire. I wrote that in like notes or whatever. But before we get to that, for the audience out there, whether it's music or life, any inspirational advice you can give to younger people, even younger than me or anybody for that matter? Could be work related, it could be music related. Any inspirational advice you think of?
Don't believe everything you think.
I like that one. I don't think anyone has mentioned that yet, by the way.
Don't believe everything you think.
Yeah. Mine's a little more trite. I was just going to say, be true to yourself.
That's good.
And who you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. You can't, like if you're a songwriter, in my experience, you can't force it to come out. But there comes a time where you get that. I've written for a newspaper in the past too.
Oh, really?
And I based the whole column on this statement I'd come up with, and then I just extrapolate from that, you know. And it's like these last couple of songs have been that way. It just comes. The idea is there.
Is it kind of like a slowing down the pace and just let it happen?
It's not even slow. It actually came quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what surprised me. It was so much fun because it was such a natural process. It just started flow. You know, you hear people say it's just a flow, you know, and it did. It felt like it was just coming out naturally.
But you did it at your own speed. You didn't rush it like
Correct.
you mentioned. Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
rush
you
things
can't rush it.
sometimes.
No. And you
no.
can't force it. You can't. I mean, I can't sit down and say, okay, I want to write this topical song, and to tell you the truth, you know, that's what comes
There's that
out.
constructive criticism again. You know, hey, we're all guilty of that, by
Yeah.
the way. You know, yeah. Anyways, and then do you guys want to give like a special shout out to anyone also as well too?
Well, I'd go, you know,
Family, friends, coworkers.
appreciate my
enemies.
wife's support.
Yeah.
Chris, yeah, she's been giving me a lot of support through this, and also allowing me to spend some money. We really should be saving for our retirement.
It's overrated. Are we gonna have any?
Retirement?
Not to go deeper. We're gonna have any left when all said.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I want to shout out to Pat Dodonna for putting this connected with you.
Shout out
you
to
know,
Pat. Yeah.
Definitely.
Pat has been a major support in sending artists my way to reach out and contact, and vice versa also as well too. Shout out Pat. She had a great episode also too.
Yeah, and I apologize. I think I just said her name wrong. It's Dodonna.
Dodonna.
Yeah. I mispronounced that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did some recording with Pat.
Yeah.
Sang
Oh,
some
on her
backup
album.
on
Yeah,
her
that's
album.
right. Yeah. How was that? That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
How many
so
songs
fun.
did you do again?
Phew, I don't know how many, maybe 10. Forgive
Nice.
me, Pat, if I don't know them exactly.
Check out Pat Dodonna's latest album,
Yeah.
everybody. Yes.
Yeah, Roads.
And shout out to John Sawyer at his recording studio
Yes.
for putting that album also as well too. Maybe we'll get him on for an episode too.
Yeah.
Who are you officially shouting out? I'm sorry. Yes.
Well, of course, my partner, and he has been very supportive.
Yeah.
And we have very little time together in our personal lives. So him, you know, he came to our gig on the weekend, which is we have Saturdays together. So, you know, him being generous with that time.
Yeah.
But I really want to give a special shout out to Mary Kay Brass, who is, she's the choir leader for the River Singers, the world choir that is in Westminster West. Because back in, let's see, my daughter was 3, maybe, 2008, I joined the River Singers. And I hadn't sung for quite a few years. And she reached out and said, I heard that you can sing. Would you like to try this solo? And I did. And the gift I got in return was finding my own voice again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So was it kind of like a burnout phase for you up until that point, or just
No,
took
it was
time,
a very
just
large
took time away?
transition from,
Transition.
and you know, it was from religion to, you
Okay.
know, coming out of that.
Sure.
And this whole, I had to leave that behind for a little while. I had to cut it off.
Yeah.
And, you know, find who I was in
Right.
the world without that.
Yeah.
You know.
You probably hear a lot of stories over the years, not just with artists, but people in general who are, I guess we could say, like working for themselves, whether it's art or like doing a business, where they put it down, whatever it is, for X number of months, weeks, hours, years sometimes,
Yes.
or like decades. And then they find it again years later. And it's amazing because in the world of staying relevant, you don't want to completely go away, but sometimes the looking out for yourself factor, you kind of have to every once in a while.
Yeah.
That had to have been an amazing feeling to be able to,
Oh, it
wow,
was.
the aha moment. Yes,
It was.
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
This is me.
I forgot you were in there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Once again, everybody, hard to believe already, it's episode number 27 of the Tasty Twist. All right, rapid fire, other stuff. Ready? All right, we'll see. Yeah.
First thing that comes to mind?
The first thing comes to mind, yeah. And we may not get to like all these topics, but because this is called the Tasty Twist, who here likes to cook, or just name out some favorite foods?
I make barbecue, and sauces, hot sauces.
Hot sauces, yeah. Yeah. Strictly hot or mild?
I have done some mild, but my friends criticize me because what I call mild, they can hardly eat.
Yeah.
So
Brisket, pulled
there's
pork.
that. Pulled pork and ribs. Yeah.
Rib meat has to fall right off the
Oh,
bone.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Has
Yes.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Has to. Yeah. Favorite food?
Favorite food.
Foods.
Favorite
Style.
Favorite food to eat is Mexican. Favorite food to make is soup.
Yes.
So I look forward to.
Because we're getting towards winter.
Sweater
Snowy
weather.
days. Sweater weather.
That means soup weather. Yeah.
Vegetarian or meat?
Oh,
or,
any of it.
Any of it.
Yeah,
Any
all
of it.
of it.
I like it all. I'm not a vegetarian, but I like vegetarians.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's vegetarian.
I actually
so
end
I
up
go with the
making a
flow.
lot of vegetarian soup.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
It's all right. You still get the beans and the
Yeah.
broth.
It's I call it refrigerator soup. You know, as a
Whatever's
mother.
left over.
Yeah.
like-
Make do with what you. Oh my God,
And it turns out delicious.
You and my mom Pam would get along so well. She's like, hey, I just got to use what's in the fridge.
Exactly. That's what soup is anyway.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Cornbread and bananas and pickled onions.
Yeah.
Liver
And there's
liver.
yeah, never a measuring cup.
Oof.
Never.
Yeah. Oof.
Don't measure.
Yeah. No, don't measure. Just.
By the seat of your pants.
Yeah. All right. So barbecue and Mexican food. So we're a big fan of the South. We've traveled to the South for that type of food.
I have not. I've never been farther south than North Carolina, wherever the Fiddlers Convention was.
Yeah. Where's that?
But I can't remember the name of it now. But
So in any part of the
was
country,
there.
you haven't been anywhere south of.
I have not been. I am not well traveled. I am embarrassed to say.
Can I make some recommendations?
Yes.
Or just one. The Rocky Mountains out west.
Yes. Yes.
I was told by a
Not
friend.
just Colorado, by the way, which is
Yeah.
where everyone goes to. I will be out in 2 weeks, but Utah, Wyoming, Montana.
Wyoming.
You want good bison and elk burgers? Go to Yellowstone, Montana. West
All
Yellowstone.
right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It'll catch you by surprise eating that type of meat, you know? Yeah. And if you're a big hunter also, too.
Well, no, but, not.
They didn't have
since I
hunting
was
down in North
16,
Carolina?
but, well, I was only there for 2 days. But I grew up in a hunting culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I hear everyone say, well, barbecue Mexican food, you got to go south. You got to go Texas. You got to go New Mexico, Arizona, because they're like, that's where the real stuff is. That's where it all is down there. Yeah.
That's one of these days.
I haven't been that far south myself, except Arizona. It's hot down there. Way too hot.
Very, very.
When retirement comes,
You're going to go sweat out in the Death Valley?
winter's not for me.
Awesome. Well, I got plenty more on here for rapid fire, but I'm going to keep it simple with the last one here. Best live show you've ever seen? Ooh.
Mine. I mean, God, that's also a really hard question.
Right.
That's like best favorite. Like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
But
What-
I would
don't know
have-
what this means.
I discovered Brandy Carlisle back in 2013, I think. But in just pre-pandemic, 2019, we went and saw her at the Orpheum, and she was just busting out.
Yeah.
Just busting out with her. I think the joke, that song. But anyway, that whatever that album, that album was on, and she just brought everything within her soul to that show, and it was
Full band or solo?
full band. They actually did a little a cappella segment up in the, I don't know what you call those little alcoves,
The
like
balcony?
in those beautiful
Did
theaters.
you say the balcony or the stanchions?
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 Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah, well, if you're a producer and a light tech guy, stanchion sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds official.
Yeah.
It's like George Carlin said about, the 10 Commandments. Why 10? Because 10 sounds official.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
for,
stanchion sounds official. Yes.
It was in a stanchion.
This is, my hand represents a stanchion.
Yeah, they
Yes.
did this little a cappella segment in there.
Acapella,
But
yeah.
it was so good. It was so good. And, I mean, some of my absolute favorites as far as like dancing and really is Dead and Company.
Nice.
Been to a few of their shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a sucker for O'Teal on bass, man.
Yeah.
I love O'Teal.
Yeah. Those shows would stay with me for weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I loved about
Yeah,
them.
and like you mentioned, Mayer's a hell of a guitar player,
He is.
and he's really picked up on that role
And
so well.
I knew he was
Yeah.
going to do good, because
Yeah.
I heard him before in different genres, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was great.
We were talking about Derek Trucks earlier, and you ever remember the video where him and John Mayer play alongside B.B. King in 2012?
I just saw it.
I haven't seen the whole
It's
thing,
so
but yes,
good.
I have. I'm aware of it, yeah.
Mayer's solo was mind-blowing, but then enters Derek Trucks, and look out. It just... and this is when Derek Trucks was just starting to grow his beard out. Now he's like a woolly mammoth, like bearded guy. Like he's no longer like the babyface guy from years ago. But at the end of the solo, B.B. King's just like, son, let me tell you something. That might have been the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And Derek just lights up, and you just hear the audience go, "Aw!" Like they get all, yeah.
That's cool.
And Mayer's just like, yeah, I can't argue with that.
I gotta watch that.
It was very good. I
Unbelievable.
just saw
Yeah,
it like last
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Literally,
Cool.
yeah.
Another Dead band you should check out. We'll get to your favorite concert, by the way, too, momentarily. Joe Russo's Almost Dead.
Yes.
If you haven't spent time with them,
they're
those
great.
guys rock.
Yeah.
They're like my humble opinion, because they play the Beatles, they play Pink Floyd, they play Allman Brothers sometimes. They're so fresh, high energy. What Russo does, just himself alone on drums, mind blowing. Such a mind blowing band. Yeah. One year, the bass player, who's the full time bass player in Ween, Dave Derwitz, whatever his name is, he couldn't play 3 shows because of Ween's tour. And so they brought OTL on bass. I'm like, oh, that can't suck.
Really? Wow.
But anyways, segue to one of your favorite concerts.
Well, I mean, like Suzanne, I hate playing favorites because I'm not even able to pull out some of the feelings that I know I've had at concerts. So I'm going to say this by the person who I think had the most presence on stage. And I think I saw the Kinks 3 times. And Ray Davies had the audience right here in the palm of his hand. And I've never seen anything like that.
They were what, 4-piece band? 4-piece? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, he really did.
When did you see them?
Oh, man, that was back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Late 70s,
Gotcha.
early 80s.
Did you guys ever go to a Toad's Place in New Haven for a show?
No.
No. I've played on stage there. That had so many famous guys over the years. When you go down to the hallway, downstairs to the bathroom at Toad's, all the bands that have played there, they're on the wall. So like everybody from like the Rolling Stones, U2, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's pretty inspiring. So,
Neat.
yeah.
That's cool.
I wish I was old enough to see him back in the day. My favorite guitar player still after all these years. You talk about stage conviction and just presence, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
I still can't get enough of him after all these years.
Understandably so.
God bless his soul.
Oh, yeah. And,
Got clean for 2.5 years and then died in a helicopter accident all of a sudden.
and he was, well, I thought in retrospect, just hitting his stride, just really.
Especially once he got like his clear frame of mind, like and on like the right path and everything.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the story was on that helicopter, Clapton, Buddy Guy, and Jimmy Vaughn stayed back and didn't go on the helicopter with him. He was the only one out of a giant group that just did a massive show down in like Dallas or Austin, Texas. And he was, I think, going up to Chicago, and it just bad weather day, and just kind of very similar.
Sad stuff,
kind of very similar right before COVID to the late great Kobe Bryant of the Lakers passing away in a helicopter accident also too. Yeah. Well, guys, so much more, but this was fun. Did you have a good time?
I loved it. Thank you very much.
I hope to have you back for another episode.
hey.
Yeah. But the guitars are crying. Shall we play one more?
Oh, let's
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Guys, once again, we're going to play one more of their originals. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having us.
Hey,
It's been fantastic.
My pleasure. And once again, it's my pleasure to be able to create, along with Okemo Valley TV, a platform for us to continue to get out into the world for reels and just the internet, and raising awareness for local businesses and artists in Vermont.
Thank
It's
you.
an
Great.
important thing. You're very
Fantastic.
welcome, guys. Thanks for being a part of it. Yeah. All right. What do we got?
This is another, recent one, as I said. This is an A.
An A. I know A. 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 Canadians. A.
My friends are all in recovery. So tonight I'm drinking
bar seems pretty empty. The stool wants to take me home. Where are my drinking buddies? Well, the last time I took a look, they gathered in a damn basement, reading from their 12-step books. So, Lord, tonight I pray, if you've anything good left to say, don't be a clown by the next round. Help me to find my way. Hey, can I buy you a drink?
Sure.
No, I don't know you from a stone,
Or a brick.
but I'm beginning to think this rhymes. It's better than drinking alone. Why has it come down to this? I've never done anyone wrong. Honey, come give me a kiss, so I don't feel so alone. So, Lord, tonight I pray, if you've anything good left to say, don't be a clown by the next round. Help me to find my way. Don't be a clown by the next round. Help me to find my way.
Woo, all right.
very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, give it up once again for Kurt and Suzanne here of Steam Jenny. Check them out, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Thank you, Okemo Valley TV, and all of our followers. This is episode number 27 of The Tasty Twist with Sammy B. Have a great day. Peace. Worry now, my darling. Woo! Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of The Tasty Twist with Sammy B. You can watch all the episodes of this podcast on Okemo Valley TV's YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. You can visit their website, okemovalley.tv, consider downloading their mobile app, or watch them on live television via VTEL, channel 166 and 167, Comcast 1076 and 1086. Are you interested in supporting a local media station? Please consider becoming a member today. Visit okemovalley.tv for more information.